Greetings, Japan fans. Today's show, we're going to talk about the difficulties of selling to Japanese buyers. So let's get going. This is the fourth year of the Sales Japan Series podcast, and we are broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minato-ku. It is Chic Central. I'm your host, Dr. Greg Story, your corporate coaching and training guide committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, the best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery, will be released shortly. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive COVID-19. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast with your family, friends, and colleagues. We are not being sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn, who, unlike many other podcast hosts, have a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here is our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesdays, the Presentation Japan Series. Every second Tuesday, the Business Tatsujin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, the Sales Japan Series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan Series. And every second Thursday, the Business Pro Podcast Show. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 234. And today we're talking about why selling to Japanese buyers is so hard and what to do about it. So let's go. The buyer is king. This is a very common concept in Western economies, modern Western economies. We construct our service approach around this idea and try to keep elevating our engagement with royalty. After living in Japan for 36 years and selling to a broad range of industries, I have found in Japan the buyer is not king. In Nippon, the buyer is God. This difference unleashes a whole raft of difficulties and problems. My perspective is based on an amalgam of experiences over many decades, and I'm generalizing, of course. Not every buyer in Japan is the same, but those foreigners who know Japan will be nodding their heads in agreement. The most intelligent sales approach the West has come up with is consultative sales. This basic term gets bandied about in different ways and different times, but the fundamental concept is to uncover the buyer's needs through asking insightful questions and then determine if you can satisfy that need or not. By definition, if you use this methodology, you are intelligent. If you are going to sell to buyers from the world's third largest economy, where 50% of young people are university educated and is known for its advanced technology, then intelligent consultative selling is bound to be your go-to model. You will fail because God doesn't approve of our funky Western ways. In Japan, God expects a pitchfest. God does not brook questions from low-life salespeople. Instead, give your pitch, put it up, so the buyer can slam close the two barrels on the shotgun and then blast your pitch to pieces. Japan is a very conservative business climate where failure is not accepted and mistakes are not allowed. The Western CFO, sharpening the pencil and working out that a 5% defect rate is the most profitable construct, will get a big bonus and a promotion. Going to a zero defect rate is deemed too expensive and unnecessary. God doesn't accept any defects or mistakes in Japan. And to achieve that, the science of risk aversion has been taken to the ultimate heights of human possibility. The Japanese buyer wants to hear your pitch, then viciously attack it to satisfy themselves that they are eliminating any possibility of future problems from this supplier. I was working with a company exporting bark to Japan as part of the gardening boom. It had to be clean, no pebbles, sand, or twigs, just plain bark. The foreign supplier breezily rang to tell me the shipment had missed the boat, but no problems. It'll be on the next one. God was apoplectic. Storage costs in Japan are expensive, so the just-in-time idea of holding little in the way of stock and delivering at the right moment is well accepted. Our buyer had just burned all of his buyers down the food chain because the foreign supplier had missed the boat. The Japanese buyer's trust, built up over many years with his client base, had been broken. In Japan, that trust is almost impossible to rebuild. Find out more when we come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public programs, but we also do custom-made in-house classes. Now, we do them in our super safe classroom, we do them live online, and we do them in Japanese, and we do them in English. Today's show is sponsored by, on the 12th of May, Cross and Upselling, on the 14th of May, Leading and Managing, on the 18th of May, Time Management, the 21st of May, Developing Subordinates, and the 28th of May, Communicating with Different Personality Styles. You can find out more about those programs on our website at enjapan.dalecarnegie.com, and you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery, the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery, and my new book, Japan Presentations Mastery. If you like learning by watching videos, we have over 1,000 for you there on Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, comes out Mondays. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show, and Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews, where I interview leaders in Japan from SMEs all the way up to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Now, every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Terebi Show. And don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. Pitching is a daft idea. How on earth do you know what to pitch? Imagine your favorite color is blue, and I turn up to sell you my awesome range of pink. I'm warbling away like a morning lark about the wonder of my pink, and you haven't the slightest interest because you want blue. If I had asked you a question about your color preferences, then knowing you wanted blue, I would have only spoken about our range in blue. This is pretty simple. So why don't Japanese salespeople ask God some questions about what is needed? Well, God is a deity too high for that type of inappropriate familiarity and basic rudeness. Consequently, everyone is pitching into the void. The cunning antidote to this God-induced pitch problem is to have a well-crafted credibility statement. For example, we're experts in soft skills training for adult learners. We recently helped a client's Tokyo leadership team raise their Japanese staff engagement scores by 30%, and their New York headquarters was very happy to see that rapid improvement. Maybe we could do the same thing for you. I've no idea if that's possible or not, but if you would allow me to ask a few questions, I will soon know if it is a viable option or not. Once God acquiesces and allows us to ask questions, then we are out of the pitch business and now immersed in the consultative sales flow. When asked this way, God does allow questions in most cases. Sometimes we will get a stern God who says, "Just give me your pitch." We comply because you cannot deny God, but mentally we know we should down that lukewarm, cheap, bitter green tea and head for the door because there won't be any sales here today. Knowing what a client needs is the key enabler to craft a sales presentation tailored to that particular buyer, which resonates, excites, and satisfies. God just needs some nudging to get religion about consultative sales. When you have your next sales meeting with a Japanese buyer, mentally picture you are sitting down with God and act accordingly. Be comfortable with formality, silence, hierarchy, and sit up straight. Politely pull the velvet curtain back on your beautifully polished and well-practiced credibility statement and wait for, yes, you may ask me some questions. Don't say one word after you ask your question, even if it is killing you. Sit there in silence until you get an answer. God likes to think about it and is in no hurry. Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, please work on your karma and share it with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned today. Use it and go out there and survive. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guy in your corner, committed to your success here in Nippon.